Hi Pisces, welcome to your reading. We're going to see what you need to know right now. This could be past, present, or future for you. You could be a cross watcher, so just take it how it resonates, okay? Now, without further ado, let's see. What's the message for Pisces right now? Tell the spirit what's going on with Pisces. Okay, we have the Sun and the King of Pentacles. And the Ten of Cups. And the Moon at the bottom of the deck, okay? All right, so there's truth coming out. Something is being exposed here, or there's illumination about a King of Pentacles. Now, this could be you or who you're dealing with, all right? And the Ten of Cups, a family situation. A family situation. Let's see what this is. Why is the Sun here for Pisces? Okay, the Four of Swords in reverse, Four of Coins in reverse. The Ten of Cups, Six of Cups, in the past, a betrayal in the past, an ultimate betrayal in the past that is tied to a loss of safety, security, feeling safe. Okay, so this could be like something from your past that you're working on right now or you're working through right now. The feeling of a lack of safety because of some sort of betrayal in the past. Who's the King of Pentacles? The Page of Cups. The Three of Wands. Page of Swords. And the Two of Swords. Yeah, this could be about childhood. This could be about childhood. And it's interesting because it's coming out with the Three of Wands. So it's like there's something that you could be looking forward to in the future, or you're thinking about your future or your plans. But there's something that you're not seeing about your childhood. Confirmation. And the King of Pentacles, so this could be about your money or what you're building, your sense of stability, okay? It could come from feeling like you don't have safety or stability in your childhood, or you lack that in some sort of way as a child. So now you're trying to find that for yourself as an adult. But you might not even realize that you're doing certain things or certain actions that you're taking or certain plans that you have are coming from childhood. I kind of feel like you're not realizing that with the Two of Swords here. It's like you're not seeing that. That's why you make certain choices in life, maybe even with your family now, if you have a family. Why is the Ten of Cups here? The Queen of Wands. The Four of Cups. Nine of Wands and the Tower. This feels like it has something to do with money. Okay, I'm going to be honest. Now, I don't know if you come from a situation where you didn't have a lot of money growing up, so now that's what you're building towards as an adult. It's kind of like, I never want to feel that way again, where I didn't have everything that I wanted or what I needed, or I felt like I was lacking in some sort of way. It could also have to do with like the provider role, like if you're a masculine energy, something about being the provider in the family, like having this strong sense of needing to provide. That could also come from childhood in some sort of way. Tell me more about the sun, please. The Ace of Cups, the Eight of Swords, and the King of Cups. Okay, so this is making me feel like emotions were not safe in some sort of way. Or you felt like you had to keep them to yourself, or you felt trapped with expressing emotion. Tell me more about that, please, for Pisces. Self-absorbed narcissist, one-sided relationship. I don't feel like this has much to do with narcissism as much as it's about this one-sided relationship where sometimes this is giving me like a lack of emotional, like emotional neglect from a parent maybe, okay, where the relationship feels very one-sided. Where it's almost like you're not getting, like there's like love that you want or that you need, or you're looking for some sort of love, but the Eight of Swords is making me feel like it's not safe. Like you feel like it's not, or you felt as a child like it wasn't safe to express love, or you didn't get it. Confirmation. Yeah, it's giving me kind of like a household where it's not really about showing up for the children emotionally as much as it's showing up financially, or just kind of like, but I feel like even that is lacking with the Four of Pentacles in reverse. It feels like in someone's childhood there was a lot of just lack. I don't feel like it's abuse. I feel like it's just, it was lacking. Like things just felt very one-sided, or it's giving me a bit like stuck in survival mode. Okay. Tell me more about this Four of Pentacles reverse. Love. Yeah. Someone expresses love. Yeah. It's like lacking in emotional expression. And that's what I was feeling too, is that you might have not heard a lot of like expression of love growing up, like someone telling you that they love you, or that they, you know, that they care for you. It's giving me kind of like having parents, or having a parent that's just very flat, you know, like they don't express love, they don't show it to their children. It's very one-sided, where you feel like you maybe loved your parent, but you couldn't show it because they weren't receptive as well, where you didn't have, this is like for someone who didn't have that connection to a parent where you felt like you could just go up to them and hug them, or they tell you that they love you, or they, you know, embrace you in some sort of way. It feels like that was lacking in someone's childhood. The expression of love. Okay. Heartbroken. Feeling lost. Sadness. Feeling lost. Yeah. I mean, this even feels like being hurt as a child and then feeling like you can't come to your parents about it. Like you just feel lost in sadness. But also then, you like keep it to yourself. This is like being raised and conditioned to keep feelings inside, okay? Not being able to express how you feel because there's just no emotional expression in the household. And I feel like it's not even just about the expression of love in your case, wherever you are, but also any kind of emotion. Like this is even giving me like kids being taught like you're not allowed to be sad, you're not allowed to be angry. Like just do nothing and just do what I say kind of a thing. Yeah, so you might, as an adult, have not like lost the ability to communicate emotion, but it might feel uncomfortable for you, is what I'm getting here, because you're not used to feeling like talking about your emotions is safe. Or like someone wants to hear about it, even maybe. Okay, so that could be another thing where you don't want to talk about your emotion because you're used to people not, or you're used to, it's from childhood, so it's like a childhood learned behavior of thinking, oh, nobody wants to hear about it when I'm sad, but it's also something about the expression of love. Like you might not, and it's not like you do it on purpose. I feel like it's just something that you just didn't really learn, right? Like being affectionate and embracing people and like being expressive about love, right? I don't know. I feel like for whoever you are, that could be something that you've been working through, maybe. Okay. I feel like you keep a lot of things to yourself. 5 of Swords, Page of Pentacles, childhood. Okay, so there's something here with your spirit guides today. They want you to look at something from your childhood. Okay. The 5 of Swords as well, though, is giving me like kind of like anger, or when people say things out of spite, or people say things to hurt someone else, or just be like, a bit passive, okay? Maybe that's like the only, I mean, this kind of sounds kind of sad, but it's giving me that like at some point, if you can't express love, or you don't learn how to express love, or you feel like you can't show love, or it's even not expressed to you by your parents, by your caretakers, and you don't feel like you have a safe space to talk about your pain or your sadness or what you're going through, what you're feeling, then maybe this like passive catty anger was like the only emotion that at some point you then were able to express to kind of get something off your mind, because you don't know how to say it anymore in like a, it's like somebody's vulnerability was turned off here. That's what I feel. Like the vulnerability was turned off in you as a child. But emotions need to be expressed. They need to come out somehow. So if you can't be vulnerable about your feelings without feeling unsafe, then it might come out in a more aggressive, passive way that you don't even mean to express, but it's like you feel like you need to get them out, but you don't know how to get them out any other way. And this could even be like when you tip over the scale because you've held your emotions in for so long, because you're conditioned to think you have to keep them to yourself. You can't express them. You have to deal with it alone. You can't tell people you're sad. You just need to figure it out. And then it like, something about it when it like boils over maybe, okay? Page of Cups in reverse. Yeah, the emotional aspect of a child here was turned off. And not even that. I feel like whoever you are, when you were a child, you were basically taught not to have emotions. Don't cry, don't get mad, no expression of love, you know. It's like being sad as a child and nobody caring about that sadness. So it's more like, stop crying, you know, and not, why are you crying? Or like, you know, like caretakers that if you get angry as a child, they don't sit down with you. Why are you angry? Like, what's going on? Talk to me. It's more like, stop being angry, or then your parents or your caretaker gets angry at you for being angry. It's like there's no, it feels like whoever you are, the adult in the situation didn't help you understand your emotions. They didn't help diffuse your emotions or help you understand them. They might have made you feel like emotions are generally bad or out of place. So it's like turned off. Or it got turned off. Like you might be someone now as an adult where if you're sad, you don't know how to say it. That's what I'm getting. Like you're going through something, but you don't know how to even like make the first step and say it. You know, some people, when, you know, it all depends on how you grow up, right? But let's just say we're comparing it to someone who had, you know, maybe more of a parental figure that did ask questions and did want to know what was going on. Like someone like that might be able to just start the conversation with, hey, I want to talk about how I'm feeling right now, you know, and be able to just come out and say it. But I feel like wherever you are, there's like you almost can't get it out because you almost like don't know how to just say it, you know? It might feel like unnatural to just say how you feel, right? Like without someone asking. I mean, without someone asking you what's going on. I mean, like just unprovoked, it could feel unnatural in some sort of ways, what I'm getting. Okay, so why is this important here today for Pisces? Because of a Queen of Wands. Four of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles. Because of a Queen of Wands wanting to hold on to someone for what they can give to someone. Okay, this feels like you as an adult, all right? Where because maybe something in your childhood was never really processed, I want to say almost, or you maybe didn't, I don't know, either you didn't want to look at it or maybe you just never did, like it just never came up for you in some sort of way, right? It could be that as an adult now, you, in order to find your place, like in a family setting, you've taken over the role of just being a provider, but it almost feels like what you're subconsciously doing is taking on the role of a parent because it's like a learned behavior, right? Or it's something like the role model of the family. So if you saw your own father or your own parent just solely being a provider, and that feminine energy is also missing of like the mother, the maternal, I don't know, it kind of feels like something like that where it's like you've taken this on because the emotional aspect of being the head of a family, you never learned it, okay? Or maybe it's just something that's really hard, okay? I don't know. There's something here though in that subconscious area of that. where now as an adult, like I said, you might not even notice if someone else is just kind of holding on to you for what you can give to them or what you can provide for them, because it's like that's how you feel. I don't want to say successful. It doesn't have anything to do with success. It's more like well, kind of maybe like the successful head of a household, right? Where you feel like you're doing what you're supposed to do. Like this is what you saw growing up. So now you're in that role and you feel like you're doing what you're supposed to be doing because you're providing financially. This is about someone providing financially, okay? And I gotta say, like, I gotta be honest, it's kind of sad because I do feel like there's an aspect here of you, because of the way you grew up, and because you weren't taught it any other way, you didn't see it any other way, you didn't experience it any other way, the lack of emotional depth in a relationship or in a family dynamic, you feel like it's normal almost, right? Or you feel like that's it. That's all there is to it, is providing. I don't know. The Eight of Pentacles, yeah, it's about money or career, making enough money, working on your job. That could be like your main focus. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I do feel like it comes from the drive of like wanting to be the provider of a household. So, I mean, this could even be a situation where like someone didn't have even a stable father figure growing up, right? So if you didn't have a healthy relationship to a father figure, or like somebody that was emotionally invested and not just financially, or somebody was absent altogether, then you're kind of like, and then also on top of that, maybe having like, there's definitely something about the maternal side, the feminine side, or just the feminine energy, the emotional energy completely lacking as well. Like there's no emotional safety in this situation growing up. So it's like somebody's kind of like, so, what's my role here as an adult? Like, so you took on this role of being the provider, and you might pride yourself on that, right? And I can't even say, it's almost like nobody can even hold it against you that some sort of emotional depth is lacking, because like, how are you supposed to give it if you didn't experience it, or you don't know what it feels like, okay? Or you didn't see it as a child, so you don't have something to like mirror it off of, or like. So tell me more about this Queen of Wands here. The King of Cups. Yeah, it's something about the emotions in something, or being the father here. Six of Swords. An absent father. Something has to do with like having an absent father. Like even if your father was like physically there, it's like it's absent. Six of Swords. So what's with the Ten of Cups here? Soulmates, partnership, agreement, soul contract. With family, the partnerships, the connections that you have with your family members, or with whoever you have family now. Separation. Thinking about you, missing you, yearning, unsure of the future. Yeah, unsure of the future. Or like, maybe, I don't know. There's something here about like if you just focus on family or building a family or having long-term family, that might feel unsafe to you because you didn't come from a stable family or from a family dynamic or household that made you feel safe and secure in the dynamic. So it's almost like that does not make you feel safe. Okay, having a partnership, having family, having kids doesn't necessarily make you feel safe and secure. It's like the only thing making you feel secure and safe right now as an adult is your job, is your career, is what you're building. It's like that's the only thing that's providing you a feeling of safety. Because emotions to you feel volatile, they feel unsafe, they feel unpredictable, maybe even. And that, again, can come from how you grew up, right? Okay. So what's the Four of Cups? Karmic relationship. Triggers, turmoil, resentment, lessons. Triggers and turmoil, resentment. Okay, so what's up with the resentment and the triggers? The King of Pentacles. Okay, I feel like you're a King of Pentacles. That's who I'm talking to right now. Strength. And the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Not making any long-term plans. Not thinking long-term. So you have like some sort of there's something here where you don't like to plan long-term. Maybe. But I feel like that's only in the relationship to family or building a family with someone or a relationship of some sort in your life. That's where you struggle with long-term. You're not the same way when it comes to your job. The Three of Swords. Yeah, it comes from pain and it comes from trauma and it comes from feeling like you're going to get hurt at some point or nothing. This is even like nothing lasts forever. Or expecting some sort of an outcome here because emotions generally aren't safe to you. Yeah. Someone's expression of love. I mean, even on this card, like she's, there's like another person here in the shadow, right? And doesn't focus. Almost like talking through the window to this girl in this picture. So it's almost like the emotions of other people aren't predictable as well. So that's coming back to this childhood issue where somebody could have had a parent that doesn't express love, okay? That only expresses like frustration, disappointment, anger, rejection. So then as an adult, you kind of feel like emotions are unpredictable. Like, yeah, maybe somebody loves you today, but they won't love you tomorrow, which is generally not the case at all, right? But if somebody didn't feel a lot of love growing up from a parent, then they might feel that way because they're used to maybe a feeling of being shunned or being rejected or no expression of love. That's what I just keep getting. Okay. The Six of Swords and the Lovers. Yeah, it's something that's now like affecting long-term relationships as an adult. Okay, so why is that here with the Nine of Wands? Meeting and conversing, savoring the moment, feeling uplifted, and a friendship. Twin flames, yin yang zen balance, complement each other. Complement each other. I mean, that's kind of giving me like, when you're an adult, attracting people that match this kind of a resonance that you were on, but maybe not realizing that that's what was going on. Or what's this about? The Tower. The Nine of Wands, Two of Pentacles. Yeah, something about being defensive, having up a boundary. The Two of Pentacles, it's almost like not being sure, being back and forth, flippy floppy, always having one foot in the door, one foot out the door, okay? Never being sure. Never being 100% sure. Always going back and forth, like, Yeah, it's because something about love, connection, family, and relationships make you feel emotionally unsafe. So it's like a protective mechanism that's going on here with the Nine of Wands. You feel like the only way to protect yourself emotionally, and this is super subconscious, okay? But the only way to protect yourself emotionally from pain, trauma, disappointment is to not allow yourself to be, invested emotionally, or to feel like, nothing lasts forever, or you're like guarded in some sort of way, okay? You're very guarded towards catastrophes, right? Towards bad endings, catastrophes, bad things from happening. So this is like thinking that the worst is going to happen before it even happened. Going into a situation expecting the worst possible outcome. Yeah, okay, what else? Judgment. Yeah, and that's definitely been affecting a lot of decisions that you've made, I feel. Choices that you've made, exactly. Two of Wands and the King of Swords in reverse. It has to do with you not speaking, okay? So this isn't even as much about you, the choices that you've made in love, as much as the choices that you've made here not to say certain things, or not to speak up about certain things, or not to talk about, I feel like, how you feel, or what's going on, or what you're going through, or any of that. That comes from childhood. That comes from you as a child learning that speaking up and saying how you feel, and standing on what you feel, or standing up for yourself, or expressing something, that's not safe to you. It doesn't feel safe to you. You feel vulnerable having to talk, having to speak, having to open up, okay? And that can then affect also your relationships, in the sense where you're not going to be the kind of person that then also asks like your partner, or even your children, like, how are you feeling? What's going on? Talk to me. Okay, what's on your mind? You could even, it could even, yeah, go into a situation where you won't even be able to, like, I mean, I feel like with you, it comes more from the sense of like, you just don't know how to have these conversations maybe about emotions sometimes, okay? Because you don't maybe even know how to talk about your own emotions. So maybe that's just not the first thing that crosses your mind, is like, How are you feeling? What's going on? Do you want to talk about your emotions? Like, I feel like there's something here that is uncomfortable to you, okay? And at some point, I do feel like you're going to have to kind of look at it and kind of work through that. I feel like it'll just kind of happen organically, though, with the relationships in your life, where you're going to realize that you do have to speak up sometimes, okay? The six, yeah, somebody not speaking up, not talking, not communicating, okay? Six of Pentacles in reverse. The Hierophant in reverse. Yeah, it has to do with the past. It has to do with the past, okay? I mean, the Seven of Swords, it's like keeping things to yourself, not speaking up. You know, why didn't you speak up in the past? Why didn't you confront this? Why didn't you say this? Why didn't you say that? Because you never learned how to, is what I feel. You just never learned how to do it. And it comes from, I feel, having one-sided relationships with your parents or with your family growing up. This could even be siblings, where nobody asks, how are you doing? Or nobody cares about how anyone is feeling. Emotions are meant to be kept to yourself, almost, is what you learn as a child. It's not safe to talk about it. How you feel is not important. So that's something that has to be looked at here, okay? That's something that has to come up for someone, I guess. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it there, Pisces. I hope this helps. I know it was a deep one, but I'm gonna leave it at that. Thank you for watching, and until next time, bye.